Hello everyone. We are logged in into the OPD module of the EHR. The purpose of this tutorial is to see the latest billing updates in the pharmacy and the optical modules. So here we can see that a patient is there with the doctor, and this patient has been advised some medications and glasses. Now we'll go ahead and try to convert this patient in the optical store. So we'll start off with the optical store first and bill this patient for the glasses that have been prescribed. So now I'm logging out from the doctor's account and I will log in as a pharmacy user. And log in as an optical user. So now I am logged in as an optical user. So as an optical user, I will be able to see that the patient that has been advised will be there available under the All tab in the patient queue section. So the functionality till this stage remains as it is. Now once we click on this patient, on the right hand side we can see the patient details. We can see a new section for billing. We'll skip this part for now and we'll go ahead and convert this patient. In order to go ahead and convert, we'll need to go to the conversion section at the bottom and click on mark converted yes. So once I click on yes, I can see a sales invoice opened up. Now from this section we can search and select the items that are to be billed to this patient. So for the sake of this example, I'll select a couple of items, and then in the delivery part we can see there are two types of delivery that are possible. One is pending and the other one is completed. So by default the completed one is selected. So completed means the patient will be billed and immediately will take the delivery and will close the billing part then and there. So generally what happens in the optical store is that the patient gives some advance and then we set a expected delivery date and we tell the patient to come back on that date. So that is possible by clicking on the pending option. You can go ahead and click on fitting required. This option will allow you to select an appropriate fitter to whom you usually send the glasses for fitting, and you can set an estimated ready date for the fitter. Say for example in this case the estimated ready date is 8th of January, and then you can finally set the estimated delivery date to the customer. So I'll set the estimated delivery date as 9th of January. I'll need to save the bill as pending bill. So earlier what used to happen is you were able to select the amount that was collected in advance at this step only. So now we'll have to save it as it is and the bill will be saved as pending. On the right hand side, if you want, you can add some discount also. So this part again remains as it is, and I will save the bill. Now you can see that the bill has been created. Now against this bill, now we can see that bill has been created. Now in this optical invoice view, you can see there are multiple options that are available at the bottom. So if you would like to collect any advance against this bill, you can do so by clicking on advance against the bill option. In case you would like to complete the payment and close this bill immediately, you can do that as well by clicking on complete payment option. If you would like to delete this bill for any reason or cancel the bill, you can do so by clicking on delete invoice option. So in our case, we would like to collect an advance against the bill. So we'll click on advance against the bill So in which we can see that we are collecting an advance receipt against a bill, and this is the bill number, and we can see that the net bill amount, remaining amount, and we can enter any reason for collection if you would like to. We can select the mode of payment. We can enter the amount that is being collected and click on save option. So now we get back to the optical invoice view. In this we can see the advance that has been paid and the remaining amount. At the bottom we can see the breakup of the advances that has been collected till now. There is a provision to collect multiple advances as well. So this is the first advance that was collected against this patient, and if we want to collect one more advance, that is also possible by clicking on advance against the bill again. So now we can see the remaining amount has decreased by the amount that was already collected. Now we can create one more advance receipt if you would like to, or we can just close it. If you would like to see the previous bills of a patient, that can be seen from the bills section that is available on the right hand side. Clicking on this will again open the same view, and here also we will have the same options available. The advance that was collected against the bill will appear outside. If we click on this, we will be able to see that this particular advance is already settled against a bill. So there is no remaining amount in this case. Now this was the example of an advance collected against a bill. Now if you would like to collect an advance against the patient themselves, that is also possible by clicking on bills and then clicking on advance receipt option. This is similar to the advance collection option that we have in OPD and IPD. Now here we need to enter the advance collection reason. We need to enter the mode of payment through which the advance has been collected, and we need to click on save. Now we can see the preview of the advance receipt. We have the option to print this or send it over an email. Also we have the option to cancel this advance. If we cancel this advance, there will be a refund that is going to be created. I'll close this for now. So now we can see there is one more advance that is appearing here on the right hand side. If we click on this, we again go back to the same advance receipt view. So in the bracket we can see the whole amount is available for the future bills. Now what we will do is we'll go back to the previous bill that was created. Now this patient has been processed for today, and the bill has been created in which we collected some advance, and we also collected some additional advance which was collected not against the bill but against the patient. And if you go to the sales section in the transaction module, we see the sale available. We can see the order has been placed and it has been marked as fitting. Now once the fitting is done, we can mark it as ready. Once it is ready, the order can be delivered to the patient. So before we do that, we need to complete the remaining payment, which can be done from sales section by selecting the respective patient. On the right hand side, we have the patient all transaction section, in which we can go ahead and click the respective bills and click on complete payment. Now we can see we are in the review order page. If we go down, we see the payment details. In this we can see the advance collected against the bill is 500. which we collected the first time we created the bill, and now we have two more options. One is advance collected against the patient, which can be used to settle the bill, and we can also collect additional amount from the patient to settle the bill. So what we will do is we'll settle the bill against the advance that was collected from the patient outside the bill. So we already have 2000 amount, so we'll settle the whole amount. Now even after settling the whole amount, we are seeing that there is a pending amount of 1200. So that pending amount has to be collected from the patient. So we'll enter the pending amount here and we'll complete the payment. So just to summarize this, in our case we had collected advance against the patient as well. So this might not be applicable in all the cases, and if there is no advance collected against the patient, this section will not appear. So I will complete the payment and close this transaction. So now if we go on the top, we can see the option to mark the order as delivered is available now. And if we go down, we can see payment received against the patient, advance that was paid by the patient, and payment received against the advance that was collected from the user. All of them are available in this transaction. So now I'll mark it as delivered. So now the order has been delivered and the payment is also collected from the patient. So this ends our invoice creation process in the optical store. Now if for any reason the patient comes back with the order, so the return against the bill and the delete or cancel invoice option will create a refund. So let's go ahead and see how a refund is created. So I'll click on a delete invoice. I'll scroll down. I'll need to enter the reason for cancellation, and I'll click on delete invoice. So success toast will appear on the top, and this particular sale will get highlighted in a red font. And if we scroll down, we'll see in the patient transaction section, we'll see a payment refund has been created of the same amount as that of a bill. So if we click on this, we'll be able to see the refund receipt view with the remarks that were added. Also, this refund will get listed in under the bill section as a optical refund. Now let us see how to complete the full transaction in one go without collecting any advance. So in the patient queue, we have one patient who has been advised glasses. We'll go ahead and mark this patient as converted. So in the sales invoice view, we'll select the items that are to be billed. We'll set the quantity. If you want to give any discount, we'll enter the discount value. The delivery part will remain completed since we are going to complete this whole transaction in one go. So since it is a complete transaction, we'll need to select the mode of payment. We'll enter the amount and we'll click on save. So once we click on save, the full transaction will be completed and the respective items will be deducted from the lots. So the patient has been converted and the bill has been created. You can also see the payment has been received. You can take a printout of this receipt. We also have the option to delete or cancel the invoice. So deleting or cancelling the invoice will create a refund. So in order to delete or cancel, you need to enter the cancellation reason. So for now, we'll close this invoice. Now let us see how the transactions that we performed today reflects in the new collection report. So in order to access the new collection report, you need to go to the sales section. On the top right hand side there is a reports drop down and collection report. So we need to see the collection report of today. So this report by default is for all the users. We can decide if to sort the report by user or by time. So I'll keep it to sort by user and I'll click on download. So this is the new collection report. So since there was only one patient who was processed, so you can see all the transactions are under that particular patient only. And the user who performed the transaction, his name and his designation also appears. So if we scroll towards the right, we'll see additional details of the patient such as age, gender, patient ID, MRN number, contact details, address, etc. Moving more towards the right, we'll show the type of transaction. So for example, the first transaction that we did was collecting the advance against the bill. So in this we can see this is the receipt number of the advance that was collected and this is the bill number against which the advance was collected. The next transaction was collecting the advance against the patient. So this is the receipt number of the advance and this is the amount that was collected along with the remarks. After that we settled the remaining amount by collecting cash from the patient against this bill. And then what we did was, after that we created a refund against the cancellation of the invoice. So in the same Excel sheet, if we move towards the left, we'll see user wise transaction breakup. Since this report has only one user, we'll see that particular user's transaction summary. So this is the transaction summary section. So we can see the total collection in cash is this much. If there are other modes of payment that were used, those would have also appeared here. The advance collected by this user was this much. Amount collected against the bill from the patient was this much. Total refund was this much, and net collection would appear here. So in this case, since we did only one bill and we refunded the whole amount, the net collection is showing as 0. Now just below this we have a overall collection summary of the store. So this will include sum total of all the transactions that are performed by all the different users within that store for the selected period. So this is the updated collection summary report. Now we are going to see the new billing updates in the pharmacy store. So I am logged in as a pharmacy user. We can see a patient in the queue. Upon selecting this patient on the right hand side, scroll down at the bottom. So I'll convert this patient by clicking on yes. I'll add the items that are to be billed. I can give any discount if applicable. In the payment received section, I'll select the mode of payment. I'll enter the amount and I'll click on save to create the transaction. Now the transaction has been created. At this stage, if I want, I can also delete the invoice. So deleting of the invoice is possible later on as well. I'll close this for now. Now if we go ahead and click on the bills, we'll be able to see the invoice. If you want, we can collect an advance against the patient as well by clicking on the advance receipt option. So we need to enter that reason, select the mode of payment, we enter the amount and we click on save. So an advance receipt against the patient has been created. This advance amount can be settled for future transactions within the pharmacy itself. So the advance collected against the patient is also visible here. We can also see the amount that is remaining within the advance in the brackets. If I want, I can go ahead and cancel or delete this advance. So in order to cancel, I need to enter the reason and click on save. Doing so will create a refund for the advance that was collected or the remaining advance with the store. Now we'll go ahead and see how to create a refund against a bill. So we'll go to the sales section, we'll click on a particular sale. So there are two ways to create a refund. One is against the return and another one is deleting the whole invoice itself. So in this case, I click on the return. So first we need to enter the return note. I need to enter the quantity that is to be returned. I'll enter the return charges if any and I'll click on save changes. So return invoice has been created. If I want, I can give a printout of this invoice. I'll close this for now. So if I go to the transaction section, I'll be able to see a refund has been created. Upon clicking this refund, I'll be able to see the details, which includes the bill against which this refund was created.